I'm going to be sharing with you in this video why you aren't happy and fulfilled, how to fall in love with the process, how to enjoy the process of what you're actually doing so that you can feel happy and fulfilled. Because the truth is that a lot of people on this planet are doing stuff that they don't actually enjoy. They're doing stuff for other people. They're doing stuff because society told them to do something, and they're not actually following their hearts and doing what it is that they actually love to then fall in love with the process. That's what we really want, is we want to fall in love with the process and of course have goals, have things that we want to manifest, have a vision. A vision is super important, which is one of the things I'm going to share with you in terms of why you aren't happy and fulfilled, but you also need to fall in love with the process. So in this video, I'm going to share with you how to balance all these elements that I've personally found in my life to have a fulfilling and peaceful and abundant life. So if you're new to this channel, what I want you to do is to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one, hit the link that's in the description box of this video and apply for a free consultation to see if you're a good fit for the coaching program. So the first thing I want to share with you in terms of how to feel happy, how to feel fulfilled, and why you aren't currently happy and fulfilled is that you need to see that all feelings are generated from within you. Okay, that's the first point. All feelings, whether that be love or peace or joy, what we do in life is we tend to externalize our power and actually put these feelings outside of us, thinking that we have to externalize our power, not realizing that the abundance that these things are giving us actually exists within us. So what does that mean? That means that the more that you connect deeper to the present moment, you'll start to see that these feelings that you were chasing outside of you actually exist within you. Because what happened was, when I had my spiritual awakening a couple years back, I started to connect deeper to the present moment, and I started to see that this present moment actually has an abundance that is not connected to thinking and the mind and the logical part of our mind. There's no logic needed to feel this abundance. Now, this abundance is something that every single person can access. Every single human being on this planet can actually access this abundance. So before I go any deeper in this video, understand that you're not actually seeking external things. Now, once again, I think that forms, when it business and success and relationships and friendships, I think these are beautiful things to manifest. One thing that I learned in my spiritual journey, because in the past I used to think that we can't go after these things. It's not spiritual to want money. Money is bad. It's not spiritual to want success. And then I realized, no, wait a second, my soul has a deeper desire to create something, and I should fully own that desire, because that's what my soul came here to do, is actually to manifest what it is that I want. But then I realized that I used to not have that perspective, and I would stop those things from coming into being. But then I also realized that ultimately those things will never give me fulfillment, and what I need to do is actually find enjoyment in the process now. Now, it's a very big paradox, because I'm enjoying the process, but I'm simultaneously going after my goals. So it's one of the biggest paradoxes that I've ever had to wrap my mind around, where I'm going after my inner desires, but I'm also completely involved in the present moment, falling in love with the process and developing this intimate relationship with life. Like when I'm recording this video right now, I actually feel a strong sense of oneness and peace, and I'm completely involved in the act of recording itself. Now, of course, I have a vision. My mind gets in the way sometimes, but while I'm recording this video, while I'm actually in this process, all I'm focused on is this camera right in front of me. I'm not focused on anything else. I'm focused on talking to you, and I'm focused on speaking and being involved in the process. Okay, so the second thing that I want to share with you is seeking happiness outside of your consciousness. That's what most people do. They seek happiness outside of their consciousness, when the truth is that excitement and instant gratification and fast food and roller coaster rides and all these exciting things are fun, but they aren't true happiness. They are just instant gratification. Now, here's the thing, is that our society is conditioned to actually want instant gratification, not realizing that those feelings are actually within you, and to feel more happy and fulfilled is actually to learn how to delay gratification and enjoy the process of something, go after a long-term vision and a goal. And then what happens is that you end up getting those things, but there's a delayed gratification where you feel much more happy and fulfilled because you're not staying comfortable. You see, that's what most people do, is they stay comfortable. They stay in their comfort zone. And this comfort zone is just instant gratification, instant gratification, instant gratification. Now, when you do this, what happens is that you're comfortable for a while, but then that comfort turns into your greatest enemy. And then it ends up coming back to bite you in you know where. And you're going to feel really bad because that instant gratification where you feel good, turns into this overall bad. You see, you eat fast food every single day. I feel good, I feel good, I feel good. 10 years later, you have all sorts of diseases. You're not healthy. There's all these negative consequences. Now, when you do that, you're not going to be able to live a happy and fulfilling life, because the truth is that instant gratification actually blocks you from fully stepping into your power. To fully step into your power means to fall in love with the process, have a long-term vision, and then also understand that you need to delay gratification. Delay gratification, which will put you into the abundance frequency. Now, this is super critical, okay? So stop seeking happiness outside of your consciousness now. This is the only moment that exists. There's no other moment than this moment now. And what you need to see is that all these feelings that you're chasing after, that you think is outside of you, already exist within your consciousness now, just being present to the moment. Okay, so the third thing is that the ego always wants more. Okay, that's the number one thing that blocks people from feeling happy and fulfilled, is an unconscious thing where people don't see that the ego always wants more. The ego is continually chasing for things outside of its own consciousness. I want this, I want that, I finally get this material success, and then guess what? The ego actually wants more. So that's what I'm saying, is that it's beautiful to manifest. It's beautiful to have goals. It's beautiful to have a vision. But here's where people go wrong, is that what they do is they continually chase more and more and more and more, and then they die. And then that's your life. That's most people's life, is continually chasing into the future. Now, keep in mind that the future never comes, because the future is an illusory thing. Nobody has ever gotten to the future. The future is a concept in your mind. This is the only moment that exists. Now, all the manifestations that you want, it will exist in this present moment. So it's a big paradox, because the only way you get to those goals that are seemingly in the future is actually in this present moment now. Now, here's what you have to see, is that the ego always wants more, and it's beautiful to manifest. It's beautiful to have inner desires, but do not depend your peace and contentness on these external goals. Okay, and I'm guilty of this. I fall into this sometimes. I check my YouTube channel too much. I'm seeing how many clients I have. And then I realize, wait a second, none of these things are going to fulfill me. What I have to feel is just be present to the moment now. Stop letting the mind get in the way. Just allow myself to stay in the present moment and see what comes as a result of that. Just be aligned with the present moment. That is why I'm here. I'm here on this planet to just simply be present to the moment, exist in the abundance frequency, and just spread my love and spread my joy and spread my peace by just simply being peaceful in the present moment and seeing what comes as a result of that state of being, where the doing comes after the being. And then you see, now what you're doing is you're totally involved in the present moment. You're completely involved in the process of what you're doing. You're still achieving your goals. In fact, you're achieving your goals in the most efficient way possible, because when you're tapped into the abundance frequency in the present moment, you achieve things at the most optimal pace. Things are very efficient. Things are very fast. You enjoy the process more. Things start to speed up, including your manifestations. You're not chasing for the future. You're still getting your goals done, but you're not dependent on these things anymore for happiness. So the fourth thing is that you are unconsciously attached to the past and the future. Most people are living their lives in a state of fear. Most people are living their lives in a state of unconsciousness and fear, and they're attached to the past and the future, not being connected to this present moment now. Now, once again, the past and the future and the mind is a very, very useful tool. You can still use the mind. You can still use the mind when needed, but some people let their mind get way too much in the way, and it's actually blocking them from feeling that happiness and that feeling of being content and that feeling of peace that exists in this present moment now. Because the truth is that in order to feel abundant, in order to feel happy, in order to feel a true sense of peace, you're not going to find that in the past or the future. The past is just attaching to past experiences that have already gone. And by the way, you're doing that in this present moment. And then the future is just attachment, attachment, attachment. Have you ever heard of the saying, all attachment leads to suffering? Okay, my great friend Buddha once said that all attachment leads to suffering. Now, when you are attached to the past, when you're attached to the future, you'll see that you are actually creating suffering for yourself. You're creating a lack of fulfillment. You're creating a sense of burden. There's a heaviness because your personal identity, you're carrying this personal burden with you everywhere that you go, creating a sense of lack, when this lack is illusory in nature, creating a false sense of lack, a false sense of not enjoying the present moment, when you have to see that the present moment is beautiful. Like, the one thing that I realized is that this present moment is sacred and absolutely beautiful. There's a beauty, there's a sacredness to the moment. And I think that every single moment is precious, and that I don't want to waste any of my energy either being stuck in the past or stuck in the future. Now, once again, does this mean I cannot have visions? Absolutely not. I have a very big vision. I have very strong desires, but the difference is that when you're in the abundance of the present moment, you're not attached to those desires. You can still have those desires. In fact, I would advise you to fully own those desires, but only with the assumption that you are actually present to the moment and not depending on those desires to feel happy and to feel fulfilled. Now, what I just shared with you is the secret to life. That is actually the secret and the key to happiness and fulfillment, is detaching from the past and the future. Now, how do you do this? It's not much more difficult than it sounds. You just become present to the moment. You start doing meditation. There's techniques. There's all sorts of ways to connect to the present moment. You can follow your passion. You can start to just simply redirect your focus and your attention to the beingness of this moment that is always within you, but we forget because we get too lost in the past and the future. So the past and the future is what is creating most of your suffering and most of your negativity and heaviness, because the burden of life only comes in when you are carrying the burden of the past with you, or if you're attached to some future vision that you have that is actually blocking you from feeling happy now. Now, do you see how paradoxical this is? Because once again, does this mean you cannot go after goals? Absolutely not. It just means that you're not depending on those goals. No, I know I've said that probably 3-4 times now, but I want you to see that you can enjoy the process of the present moment. You can connect to the beingness of who you are, still go after your goals, and also achieve those goals in the most optimal and efficient way possible with the least attachment and the most enjoyability. Okay, so the fifth sign is that this is going to be more tangible, this is going to be more practical, which is that you have a lack of vision and purpose in your life. Again, I'm not talking about the internal purpose of expanding your consciousness, which is why we're all here, by the way. We are here internally to expand your consciousness. Every single human being on this planet is here to raise your frequency and raise your consciousness. Now, how you do this doesn't really matter. How you do this is going to be different for each person. One person can be a coach, one person can be a YouTuber like me. I'm a one-on-one coach. Another person could be a comedian. Another person could stay in their 9-to-5 job. Another person could do this. Another person could do that. Another person could do this. Doesn't matter what you do. Not really. What matters is that you have a purpose and you have a drive at the external level, as well as understanding that your internal purpose is to raise your consciousness, to become more aware, to contribute to the evolution of consciousness happening on this planet right now. Now, how you do this is by being present in the moment. aligning with the state of abundance that is in this present moment now, and then whatever arises from that internal state, what's going to happen is that you'll naturally start to align yourself with your purpose. But before I go into the consciousness aspect of this, what I do want to share is that you need a purpose and you need a drive. And once you connect to the beingness of who you are, which is basically the first 4 points that I shared, is just connecting to the beingness of who you are, connecting deeply to the present moment, finding the joy, finding the peace, finding the aliveness, finding the sacredness, finding the essence and the beauty of this present moment. Now, once you do this, from this alignment with God, with the universe, with the abundance of who you are, what will happen is that something will arise at the external level, meaning at the human level, at the spiritual level. You're whole, you're complete, everything's done. But then at the human level, there's something that you need to be doing. There's something that is eventually your soul is going to be called to take action on certain things. Now, a lot of people don't feel happy and fulfilled because they're not taking action on what their soul is really called to do. They're not taking action on what they feel called and intuitively called to do, because every single soul has this intuition and this feeling that they should go after something, and they ignore that feeling, creating a sense of heaviness in their experience. Right? For me, I aligned with that state of abundance. I stepped into the unknown, and then I realized that when I record a video, I am very tapped into the present moment. It's unexplainable how deeply I connect to the moment when I am looking at this camera right now in this present moment. It's an absolutely unexplainable sacred experience for me, because when I connect to this camera, there's no me, there's no ego. It completely eliminates. I become one with the camera. My visual perception starts to change. My visual perception starts to become heightened. I become more energetic. There's something that takes me over while I'm speaking. Now for you, you might feel heavy because you're thinking, Francis, I don't have something that puts me in that state. Start meditating, start going within, start connecting deeply to the present moment, and then see what arises as a result of that state. Every single person has a unique and individual path that you need to follow, but it's going to be different for each and individual person. For me, it's recording a video. I tap into this beautiful state of abundance, but for you, you could be anything that you want. As long as you have an external purpose to some degree. Now, don't depend on that purpose to feel fulfilled, but have a purpose at the human level to just keep yourself doing something while you're in the state of being. Because when you learn to do nothing, you learn to have everything. When you learn to do nothing and just connect to the being, you also master the doing, because the doing is the being. But most people don't have awareness of the being. They just have awareness of the doing. Take action, do more, hustle, masculinity. I need to do more in this world. I need to be fulfilled. Most people get lost in either end of the spectrum. Either they just take massive action. They have a purpose, drive, purpose, vision, but they don't know how to connect to the present moment. There's no beingness. There's no sacredness. There's no loving the process. And some people just meditate too much and they never bring it back into their daily life. That's why I actually created the Awareness Mastery course. Hit the link that's in the description box of this video to join that. But you need to merge these things together. Merge the beingness of the present moment, and then also combine that with your vision and your purpose, and you'll be tapped into the abundance frequency. Now, the thing about this is that you will win and other people will win, because the abundance frequency and the present moment and the highest state of consciousness that you can live will be a win-win situation. There's no such thing as lack, and the mind actually creates lack. Now, I know that for some of you, you're thinking, Francis, no, there's lack. I don't have money. I don't have this. I don't have that. Like, Francis, there's a serious thing. I understand that there's practical consequences to life, but whatever's happening in your life, staying in a lower state of consciousness and not being present will not help you get out of that. The best thing you can do is to become present to the moment and find the peace that is within you, and then just see what comes as a result of that. What other option is there? Is you sitting and being heavy and anxious and not feeling fulfilled going to get you out of that financial rut? Is you complaining going to get you out of that rut? Is you arguing going to get you out of that rut? Is you continually projecting into the past and the future, attaching, going to get you out of that rut? Because some people say, like, for instance, like, abundance frequency, like, this is not practical. Why are you saying all this? For instance, people have real practical issues. I understand. The abundance frequency is incredibly practical. In fact, quantum physics even proves this. Quantum physics proves that everything is connected and that you actually create your reality. Now, I can't speak on this with authority because I haven't studied quantum physics, but there's definitely science to back this up. And I have a feeling that spirituality and science will merge in the next 100 years. But understand that you not being present to the moment will stop you from creating what you want. You not enjoying the process will stop you from creating what you want. It will stop you from feeling joy. It'll stop you from feeling peace. It'll stop you from creating what you want, and it'll keep you stuck where you're at. Because that's what the ego does. The ego stays comfortable. The ego stays stuck. And the ego does not enjoy the present moment for what it is. And that heaviness that the ego creates actually blocks you from fully stepping into the abundance that you actually want in your life. That's what the ego does. And it attracts negative situations. It stops you from feeling fulfilled. It's literally a lose-lose. Now, here's the thing with abundance. As abundance is the win-win. Because while you're following your joy, while you are existing in abundance and also taking action from that state, you give value to others inherently because value is consciousness. When you're at a higher state, when you're aligned with abundance, you're spreading abundance to other people. And when you spread abundance to other people, guess what? You get that in the form of money because everything is energy. We're living in a matrix. We're living in a game. And money is just energy. We've attached this identity to money. Oh, this is valuable. But value at the core energetic level is abundance and joy. That's the greatest currency you can have. The greatest skill set that you can develop is connecting deeply to the present moment and aligning yourself with this state. If you do that long enough, I promise to you that you will get money as a result of that eventually, one way or another. Now, are you going to care about that at first? Probably not. In fact, you won't, because you're going to be aligned with joy. But then as a result of that, you will end up getting money eventually, but you didn't care because you were aligned with the abundance and the joy and the essence of this present moment. Are you seeing how this is a win-win? You win because you enjoy the process. While you enjoy the process, you give value to others because you following your passion, enjoying the process inherently. People love that. People love the frequency of that. It's a very healing energy to the collective consciousness. And you also get money, and with that money, you can help more people. And it's just a win-win. Because then that inspires other people as well. That helps other people follow their passion. And now you're doing what you love. You're making money. You're also having a strong vision for the future, which doesn't really exist because it exists in this present moment now. But you're pretty much spawning that vision in this present moment. It's not really in the future. You're like bringing it into the present moment. That's kind of cool. I realized that while I was saying that. But you're bringing that vision into the present moment. And then while you're doing that, you're also creating abundance. You're feeling abundance, you're inspiring others, and you're living the best possible life. And that is why you aren't happy and fulfilled. So if you want to download my free guided meditation, hit the link that's in the description box of this video. I'll also leave it as a comment in this video. It's totally free. Just hit one of those two links and you can try it out. That's all I have for you today. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.